What's going on, guys? This is Mr. DeLorean here on today's brand new video. Today on to talk about Chucky Season 1 Episode 3, I Like to Be Hugged, and the new trailer that came with the episode. So the trailer begins with Junior, Lexy, and I think some other kids, and what I'm assuming is either Junior or Lexy's house. It is really hard to tell, whose house it is specifically, since obviously, Lexy and, Junior both live in big houses. So at the moment, it is very hard to tell whose house it is and everything. But we do get to see Chucky sitting on the floor and everything. I'm most likely looking at, Lexy and everything, probably I'm definitely gonna fucking kill you next. There's a shot of, I think, Jake behind Lexy and everything with this, gigantic knife, sickle and everything. Now, do I think he's gonna kill her after, him and Chucky's talk in episode 2 and everything, that big cliffhanger where, Jake takes the knife? I strongly doubt it and everything, since I'm assuming he's gonna, remain innocent throughout the entire series, at least in my opinion and everything, and in this scene, he's most likely gonna, want to do it after how much she, humiliated him and possibly made fun, actually made fun of his dead father and everything in episode 2. So I don't think he's gonna kill her and everything. I definitely think he's gonna get the urge to, but he's definitely not going to. But it definitely is a very scary scene to see if you if you have any thought that he's going to do, which, like I said, I doubt he is going to. And based on that shot and everything, I do strongly think that she's at Junior and Jake's house and everything. So maybe that's connected to the scene when they're walking around the house earlier. We'd also get a shot that's kind of seems the super film and everything look and everything. So I'm assuming this is gonna be a flashback back to Charles Lee Ray's childhood, or another one of those. I haven't been really much of a fan of those, to be perfectly honest. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of them. We also flash back to Chucky and Jake and everything sitting in his room talking about can Jake kill him or anything, and he's basically downing himself about being a killer. And basically Chucky says you could do it and everything. Everyone can be a killer and everything. You definitely are, and Lexy definitely has it coming. We then go back inside the garage and everything with Jake with picking up that gigantic knife sickle and everything, which I'm assuming this is gonna be before he goes behind Lexy and everything, and basically looks like he's gonna kill her. And then basically with some gardening tools he stabs down and everything, which obviously is not a Lexy, or at least I really don't think or hope it is. And I more so think this is Jake practicing to kill and everything, seeing if he could really do it, since he does have some anger and tears in his eyes and everything. So he's probably trying to test himself if he could truly really do it. And this is him kind of practicing. We then see Junior and Lexy and everything hanging out in one of their backyards and everything. They're wearing similar sweatshirts, so I do wonder if this is maybe them training for sports together. I don't know, that's all I could assume and everything, since they're still a couple, and surprisingly is still a couple after episode 2, which I'm so surprised, man. Junior's such a fucking idiot and everything with how shitty Lexy treats him. But basically Junior tells Lexy that you have to apologize to Jake, which it seems like he's standing up for Jake and everything, which is really surprising to see, since he's been unnecessarily just a dick to him so far this entire season. And so far for the duration of the show, he's partially defended him sometimes, then went right back to being a dick at him, which just makes no sense. But it seems like he hopefully is starting to turn around by basically saying you need to apologize to him. And Lexy basically replies saying, why? What is Jake gonna do? Which, my god, you have no fucking clue. Because later on, Jake comes by Lexy's house and everything. I'm assuming at what looks to be a stand that's in front of Lexy's house, which is really weird. And he comes over to Lexy's house with basically a Chucky and everything, and hands it to Lexy's younger sister. Now, obviously, Lexy's younger sister's been basically, very fixated on Chucky and everything, and how much, I guess you could say Chucky reminds her of herself or anything, being really against her sister, and finally giving her that power over her sister, since Lexy is obviously a very shitty sibling. So I'm assuming this is, Jake giving off, Chucky to Lexy's sister and everything. I'm not sure as a pawn, or basically an inside man to basically kill Lexy without him having to do it. And maybe, Jake basically going, I can't do it, so you do it. Or if this is Jake just giving away Chucky and everything just because, just because and everything, he doesn't want him anymore. Which obviously if he gives Chucky into Lexy's house, I think obviously he knows Chucky's gonna do something, so I don't think it's just him giving it to her just for being a good person. I think he's definitely giving it to her and everything, definitely to get Lexy killed. And obviously the way Lexy looks to younger sister getting and being happy with Chucky, obviously she is not okay with this. We basically see Chucky in what I'm assuming could be Lexy's house and everything, going up to someone and stabbing them. Now, I do not think this is Lexy and everything. I think this is a complete different person. Maybe Lexy's mother, maybe another person in the house, maybe one of Lexy's friends, or maybe even a babysitter if they really need that. And I think even though Lexy's, I think, in high school or middle school. We go inside Lexy's house, or yet again, I can only assume is Lexy's house. And anyway, we basically see Chucky following behind Lexy. And now this plays into a really big part of this, trailer and episode so far. As you did notice in the previous shot that we did go over and everything, the person that Chucky is stabbing, yet again, seems to be in Lexy's house and everything, since obviously Chucky, I don't think he's going to kill anyone at Jake's house or Jake and Junior's house and everything. I don't think he's just going to go into a random house. So I can only assume this is in Lexy's house. And basically, he's he's stabbed someone earlier that I think was in a white shirt. And a lot of the times that we see, like, Lexy inside this trailer, I think she's wearing basically this kind of black or blue, like, shirt and everything, this outfit that's like, not white. But it's very interesting that we see Chucky falling behind Lexy and everything in this kind of like, animated form. So I do wonder if this is after she finds out that he's alive, or maybe him just following her around trying to find a perfect opportunity to kill her. Then the final few shots of the trailer, we basically see like, Chucky revealing himself towards Lexy and everything, which is really cool. And she's basically like, screaming in horror. Obviously the fact of seeing, for the first time a doll come alive, which is just fucking awesome and beautiful. Because man, like, here's the thing, I do really want Chucky to kill Lexy and everything, because it would be an awesome turning point of the show and a really big thing to happen. It'd probably be the biggest death since, like, Jake Wheeler's or Jake's father and everything in episode 1. It would be a death that I definitely would satisfy fans, at least in my opinion, because man, this show has created some of the most fucking despicable characters so far and everything, and this is definitely a character I want to see go, and will be such a satisfying death and everything, especially screaming in terror and everything as Chucky runs after and just stabs her. It'll be so fucking cool. Or unless they give her like, a really creative kill for like, the episode, which would be really cool. The only reason I don't feel like, he will kill her though, even though like I said, it'd be satisfying as all hell, I do feel like, create a massive turning point in like, the series so far. Like if she just dies and everything, obviously, like, all eyes are gonna be on like, Chucky and everything. Chucky goes right back to like, Jake and everything. All eyes are gonna be on him, and it's gonna create like this massive tension between like, everyone else, and then like, Chucky and Jake and everything, with like, him having the doll that just killed like, 3 fucking people so far in the series and has injured one or anything with that apple situation in episode 2. So like I said, it'd be a really satisfying death, but do I think it's gonna happen? Apparently not, or anything. I really do want it to happen, for it to be really creative and gruesome, since the character is just so fucking annoying and like just despicable. There's so many people that I have on like, my shit list and everything for this series so far, and honestly, she is definitely at the top of the list. And as Chucky said, some people are really climbing up his list. Actually, now that I think about it, Chucky did mention in episode 2 and everything that like, Lexy's mother was basically like, climbing up his list of people to kill, because like, the little sister is basically like, oh, my mom doesn't like, killing or like, swearing, that she's climbing on my list. So it could be a clue and everything. Lexy's mom will be the first to go in this episode, and then Lexy, or maybe it'll be the other way around, or maybe Lexy was screaming because it was revealed to her that her mother died and everything. I don't know, but this definitely will be a great episode and everything, and a huge turning point for like, the series so far. And man, this series has been absolutely kick-ass so far. So much better than I did think it was gonna be, honestly, because telling me by the trailers, I was like, oh, it's just gonna be an emo kid, no retro, the classic kid. But no, it's actually really good so far, much better than I thought it would be. I'll come out with a review like, later on or anything in the week, or later on in the month and everything, when the series with season 1 might wrap up. But yeah, that was my breakdown for the trailer for Chucky season 1 episode 3, I Like to Be Hugged and everything. Definitely an interesting like, episode name. I'll make sure to link the trailer down below so you guys go check it out for yourselves and everything, which I do highly recommend as per usual. I do highly recommend checking out like, the Chucky series if you are new to like, this whole like, series and concept and like, franchise. And I think if you do have an internet or like a TV provider and everything, I think as long as you have a TV provider, you could 100% check out this series for free and everything. I think it's even free on YouTube, I think. Don't take my word for that and everything, but I think you can watch if you do at least have a TV provider, which I do highly recommend 100%. If you do like horror and you do like the Child's Play franchise. But that was all for today's video and everything. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more like the Chucky universe and everything, and more on the Chucky show and everything, such as reviews, breakdowns, and everything, since I do want to start making more videos on this series, and it's really getting good, and it is really good so far. And also make sure to comment down below what you guys are most excited to see in Chucky season 1 episode 3. Are you excited to see like maybe Lexy getting killed? Do you think she'll get killed? Like do you think Jake will like have it in him to kill someone, or do you think he's just practicing in the episode and has an urge, but in the end just doesn't really do anything? And also, what do you think is gonna be the body count for season 1 episode 3? Because I think it's gonna at least be 2, including like Lexy's mother and then Lexy herself or anything, or maybe just Lexy's mother and everything. Make sure to comment that all down below and everything. And yep, I see you guys later, my amigos, and peace out.